Whenever this sound comes from the house, the nannies know something's wrong. They immediately scrambled to hide all the food they just made. But how could they hide from the dog's nose? Buck looked at the nannies and gave them a pitiful look. If it were any other dog, it might have worked. But he was a troublemaker and Buck was undoubtedly kicked out of the kitchen. The rich man standing behind him looked puzzled and then pulled him out and threw him in front of his house. The clever Buck was about to jump through the window when the rich man came out and told him it was his birthday and that Buck was not to be a naughty boy today. But before he could finish his sentence, he was attracted to a rabbit and ignored what the rich man had just said and ran after the rabbit. At noon, when Buck came back to eat, he was so hungry that he suddenly realized the table was full of food. He was so hungry that he licked his mouth. At that moment, the rich man was taking a family photo, but Buck barged in and sat down on the floor. When everyone realized Buck was holding a chicken leg, they knew something was wrong. As expected, Buck had messed up the meal he had just prepared. The rich man was so helpless that he grabbed the chicken leg out of Buck's mouth but only got the bone. At the end of the night, the rich man was angry and locked Buck in the doorway, telling him to reflect on the mistakes he made today. But that was the last time they saw each other. In the middle of the night, a stranger lured Buck into his car with food. Buck followed his instincts and jumped in without thinking. As soon as he ate the food, the two men outside the car closed the cage. No matter how hard Buck banged on the inside, it didn't help. It turned out that Buck had been sold to Buck the dog trader. Buck saw through the cracks that he was getting farther and farther away from home, and he became anxious. And no matter how hard he yelled, it didn't help. I don't know how long it took, but the crate was suddenly ripped open and Buck, frightened, hid in the corner and rushed out of the crate to escape. At that moment, the dog handler was watching him with a stick in his hand. So Buck had no choice but to run towards the dog handler. When Buck stood up again, he lowered his head in front of the dog handler's stick. The stick had become Buck's worst nightmare. Buck knew that he was powerless against the dog handler's stick, so he waited for an opportunity. And when the dog handler left, he was strong enough to break free. When he escaped, he found himself in the frozen north of Alaska.